So we're setting off for round 2. If you followed the last episode of Naked Guru, you would have seen that I had some serious car troubles. That car's going to be in now for 2 or 3 days, getting the aircon fixed. And I'm traveling the Thai way. Damo has actually put together a little itinerary for me because it's just easier for her to book through the platforms in Thailand. But I'll show you how a lot of the Thais travel. And this is a pretty cheap way to get up to Chiang Mai, but first I have to go to Bangkok. So we're going to be traveling for the VIP bus to Bangkok, and then from Bangkok we're going to be getting the VIP train. I couldn't get first class because it was all booked out, so I ended up in second. We're going to see what that's like. It's a night train, and it's probably going to be a more comfortable way to travel up there, to be honest. Like, for the past few years I've only ever driven up there, and it takes 16 hours. You get quite tired behind the wheel. You have to make regular stops. Obviously you can't watch anything, or you can't work, or you can't do anything because you're driving. I had to reduce my pack down. I had a big box full of honey and presents for people that I like to take people gifts up there. Sometimes I even like to give people that I meet gifts, especially if it's like our honey. What I have in here basically is clothes, and you may notice I have a lot of these kind of like warmer clothes and a poncho here. That's because, number one, it's the rainy season, but number two, when you travel on Thai transport, often the aircon can be put low and you can take layers off. But if you've got no layers to put on and you're in your shorts and t-shirt because you're in holiday mode, you get cold. So it's good to have these extra layers that you can put on. This is all like my cables, electronics. There's a sleep mask in there as well, which also has Bluetooth built in. And then this one is for stuff like editing, and I mean, usually I carry a lot more equipment. I'm not taking my drone because I just can't carry it all this way. So I won't be taking the drone. As I've said, the laptop is in there. That's about the only equipment that I'm taking, as well as the camera for filming. I'll film both on my DJI Pocket 2 and the iPhone when I film, but most of it will be done on the DJI. I'm going to be filming in 1080 just so it's a little bit easier to manage. I have an external hard drive also packed in here, which keeps anything that I film on there. And that's it really. So I can only just about get everything in. The poncho is just fitting in here. And that's the pack. Bye bye. Second time. Hey. What happened? Did you get hurt? You wanna come with Daddy? Come with Daddy? Right, bye bye then. So here we are at the little bus station here. We call Nakhon Chai. This is useful to know. Many Thai people travel this way. They'll use this bus service. It's very cheap. So my total cost for this ticket was actually 393 baht, and that's to get from Buriram to Bangkok. So it's very reasonable. And this is what you would class as a VIP bus. So it's air conditioned, and it's not like a hot and sweaty bus. If you want the hot and sweaty bus, you'll pay quite a bit less. Actually, I was really wanting to bring Otis on this trip up north. Some may remember when we traveled down to Phuket together on the planes and stuff, and that was a bit of an easier journey because the plane journeys are not very long. This journey here from where I am to Bangkok is around 6 hours, and then the train up to Chiang Mai is 10 hours, and then you have the travel from Chiang Mai to Pai as well, so which is a couple of hours. And so I think it would have just been too much for him. Even now, like at this age, he did Phuket very well, but I just think that amount of distance is going to be just a little bit too much. And I would have had to pull him out of school for 2 weeks, which actually is not a big problem, and they don't mind. So here in Thailand, you have your say about what you want to do with your own kids. So if I wanted it in a private school, so I think the government schools are a little bit stricter, but if I wanted to pull him out for 2 weeks, I could, and usually there's no questions asked. Things have changed a lot since I traveled like this. I haven't been on a train in Thailand for probably over 10 years. And they used to have a carriage long time ago. It was carriage number 4, as I remember it, from Bangkok to Kanchanaburi. Not sure if they still have it. There was a carriage, it was just like a restaurant. And there we used to stick some Bob Dylan on and get a bucket of beers and it was all open windows, no air conditioning, and nobody ever sat in there because Thais get the train for free, and to sit in that carriage you had to buy something. You had to buy food or you had to buy beer, and so we had the whole carriage to ourselves. We invited some people in to join us, and we would blast that Bob Dylan, looking at all of the Thailand countryside through the open windows of the train, knocking back some beers on ice. They were the good old days. They were really the good old days. Some of my favourite times in Thailand were riding on the trains, particularly in that carriage. So this is me for the next 6 hours on the way to Bangkok. Very comfortable, very cool in here. Going to be a relaxing trip for sure. It's also very quiet in here as well from the outside. Once they close up, you have like an air hostess. She's the bus hostess. She's going to be bringing snacks and water around very soon. There's a toilet on board as well. Just here on the side of the seat too, they have a massage button, so you can call the attendant, turn the light on, or turn on the massage, which activates some balls in the back of the seat which move up and down the chair. And then this is the food that has just been served. This is some kind of pad kapow chicken, I think, with rice. Okay, so just arrived here at the station and went very, very fast. Very comfortable bus. Definitely recommended if you're planning to travel through the provinces and you don't want to fly. These buses are fantastic, VIP buses. Very, very comfortable and great service. So now I'm going to be jumping in a taxi going to Krungthep Apiwat. Chai. Lot 5. ไม่รู้จักใช่ไหม Okay, come on. So he doesn't know. That's a first, a taxi driver that doesn't know a location in Thailand. This is the large bus station here, passenger lounge. I've never actually been to this train station before. Generally you want to get taxi meter to make sure you're not being ripped off. Ask them to put you on the meter when you arrive here. Common knowledge now in Bangkok. And I may try and pull a taxi over here by the main road. Might have more luck. This is Bangkok, guys. Bangkok bound. The city that never sleeps. Chai. Lot 5, eh? Car. So this guy knows. So you see also when I jump in the car as well, he turns that meter on. This is the way, guys. And whenever I have an issue and I don't know where something is, Damo, I just send her on my location. And she gives me all the information on Facebook Messenger, and that's because Damo lived in Bangkok for many, many years. Like, she knows it like the back of her hand. She knows every single area of Bangkok, how to get around on the BTS, when you should get a taxi, when you should get the BTS, when you should get the bus. She's a genius at this sort of stuff. Very efficient. So she is my go-to for the information. This is the new, well, I think it's been going since 2022, according to Damo's message to me. This is the train station, but it looks more like an airport, right? And it functions a little bit like an airport too. It should be an hour ahead of your scheduled train departure. And it's a big bloody building. This is all relatively new, infrastructure, public transport. And I've been told these trains are pretty special. As I've said, I'm getting second class because that was the only ticket available. I will ask them if it's a possibility to upgrade to the first class. Sometimes people cancel, but they book sometimes months or years in advance. It's not so much that I'm really bothered about traveling the first class. I just wanted to show you guys. On this trip, I'm going to be staying in very like shitty bungalows by the river. I'm going to be staying in a hostel in Chiang Mai. So as people know on this channel, I'm never very fancy when it comes to traveling on my own. With the kids and with Damo, we'll stay in expensive places to remember with swimming pools and whatnot. But when it's just me, I try and do things as absolute cheaply as possible. That's what we like. And here's a robot. A robot. Now I'm going to find out where my train is. It's not for another 3 hours. So I have a couple little side quests to complete. But I kind of wanted to familiarize myself with this place and find the place where I'm going to be setting off from. Once I've done that, I'm going to go and complete a couple of my side missions. So here's the MRT, and I was just about to jump down there and go on one of my side missions until I sent Damo a photo, and she's like, no, don't go down there. And if you wanted to check out which line is which, if it wasn't like complicated enough in English, here it is in Thai. If there was never ever an excuse to learn, to develop my Thai, I guess, it would be to read this here. For now, I have to settle with Damo. I got my ticket. I asked about an upgrade as well, but they said it's completely full, which I expected anyway. I'm only about 5 minutes from Chatuchak, and that's always worth a little visit when you are in the area. So the guy walking over here with a taxi joked that Farang price is 300. My guy here gave me 80 baht, so I paid him 100 baht instead. We're going to Chatuchak Market. Should be around 5-6 minutes from here. Traveling Thai style. Definitely been a while. But don't worry, guys. He's got his helmet on. It's been a while, guys. Probably one of the more dangerous ways to travel, but one of the most fun ones as well. And quintessential Thailand, of course. I don't know how well my microphone picks me up here on this bike as well. I'd be surprised if you can hear anything at all. I've got the muffler on it, but obviously it's quite a windy adventure here. So let's go and check out the market, see what's on, and then I'll get back here, hopefully in time for my train. Chatuchak is really a weekend market. It only opens at the weekend, so I'm not expecting a lot here, but still expecting to see a few things. We've already ran a red light, but this is what these guys do for a living, these taxi drivers, and I get to have the nice cool wind blowing through my hair, so to speak. Oh, taxi motorcycle กี่ปีแล้ว
20 กว่าปี
20 กว่าปี แล้วก่อนทำนี่ทำอะไรเรียนเหรอเรียนที่โรงเรียนไหม
หลายอย่างเรียนด้วยทำงานส่วนตัวด้วยทำหลายอย่างทำอะไร
ส่วนตัว
รับเหมาต่อเติมซ่อมแซมบ้านนี่น้องเบ็ดครับแล้วคุณมีอะไรอย่างเมียคนไทยครับมีแล้วครับผม
มีลูก
มีแล้วครับ2 คนครับ
2 คนใช่ไหมแล้วได้เงินเยอะไหมค่ามอเตอร์ไซค์ทุกวันได้เงินเยอะไหมมันพอดีไหมสำหรับครอบครัว
ไม่แน่นอนขึ้นสถานการณ์ฝนตกบรรยากาศด้วย
แต่ว่าคุณเป็นคนสนุกนะสุภาพด้วยแล้วก็เมื่อมีคนอื่นอยากคิดตังค์ผม300 บาทซันบอกว่าไม่ใช่มันเบส10 บาทเหมือนคนไทยเลยใช่ไหม
ครับผมคนชอบตรงครับพูดตรงๆไม่โกหกใครครับ
ครับผมนี่คนซันแท็กซี่มอเตอร์ไซค์ขอบคุณมากครับคนซันครับ So of course it was the markets in Chatuchak as well that they had a big fire, and a lot of these animals they died here because they all got caught up in the fire. But it seems like they've rebuilt quite fast, and this is actually just the fish zone. Sometimes, I mean, last time I tried to film in the animal zone, some guy went crazy. But I think for the fish zone, they're pretty cool with it on Chatuchak Market. So in the fish zone, it's just like loads of exotic fish and aquariums here. And generally, again, like they don't have any crazy animals in this area, like protected animals, monkeys and things like that. So generally they're okay with filming. And I made sure I checked first to see if there's like a no filming sign, because people sometimes don't like you taking the video. I got some turtles in here and some quite big fish. Big fish here. And then just this zone here just looks like fish food, fish pumps, things like that. It's a shame about all the animals that died here that got caught up in the fire. A lot of beautiful animals that were burnt alive. Looks like on first glance when it was rebuilt, if this is the area that they have rebuilt, and it kind of looks quite new, so it looks like they modernized it a lot. I have to say it seems a bit more organized and structured than before. Before everything was just kind of everywhere and the smell was pretty horrendous as well because of all the animals. You got some goats over there in tiny cages, but I don't want to look too closely for the reasons already discussed. And here inside the main market begins the endless maze of shops, one row after another. I have to say as well, it's not as cheap as it used to be. I've seen a lot of these items that probably could be found in rural Thailand for a quarter or half the price, but I think that's a product of tourism as well. You know, tourists are happy to buy at higher prices here, and that kind of pumps the prices up. A giant Buddha, 167,000 baht for a green in green. Beautiful. So this is the super exotic area here. You have some raccoons in cages here. I've never seen that before in Thailand. You have turtles. And you have here a giant rat. That looks like a giant rat, guys. It must be a rice field rat. It's a giant rat, and I think you've got an armadillo down there. The monkeys here, very interested in my camera. But terribly small cages for them. I think these are iguana. More iguana up there. So the owner of the store is not here, so I'm kind of like secretly filming, I guess. Well, they must get bored in here, these monkeys. And I don't imagine they make great pets as well. So, but yeah, I've never seen a rat that big, that's for sure. And I've never seen raccoons here in Thailand. I don't think they are native to Thailand. But yeah, it's small cages for them. Let's hope they go to better and bigger homes. So yeah, it's making me miss Alfie a little bit, seeing all these animals in cages. I just worry about him a little bit. It's the first time he's ever been there on his own, back in the room. So since he was a pup, he slept like in the room with me. At night time we have our routines and things, so all this is going to break. But I thought I definitely couldn't have brought him like this, you know, on a bus and things like that. So it was the only choice. Damo's seen to him, of course. So just missing Alfie. I think looking at all these animals, you got giant tortoises in buckets. You got some wild pigs. Wild pigs just here. Goat eating out of a bag of lettuce over there. So more raccoons over there in the cage. So they're 20,000 baht each apparently. So yeah, I think that's enough animals today. I don't think I want to see any more animals. A lot of people, they ask if I would live here in Bangkok, like do I ever miss the city, or could I actually live here? And to be honest, no. Sometimes I can only stand it for a couple of days. I can already feel the thickness in the air in comparison to where we are. The heat, for some reason Bangkok always seems twice as hot as everywhere else. I don't know if it's because the heat radiates from the concrete floor, just the general bustle of it all. And you see a lot of like lost and lonely souls here, particularly like those on the street. They're just completely, you know, they're completely gone. I think we've probably got one guy in rural Thailand where I live like that, but here in Bangkok there's a lot of it. I guess you can say that for all cities, and some people really love all the things that there is to do in the city, all of the activities that you're never bored. And for sure when I go to Chiang Mai, I'm going to be stopping in the cinema up there and watching the new Alien movie. So things like that are a luxury. But for the rest of the time, I'm glad to have the open fields, and feel blessed also to have the open rice fields for the kids as well. and I'm glad it's a place where the kids are growing up. If we lived in Bangkok, we would probably be in a small condo, whereas you can have more space out in rural Thailand. You could say opportunity to make money in Bangkok is higher than where I am, and of course that may be true, but then again, with the online stuff these days, there's a lot that can be done from rural Thailand, and our business does okay now. It's a relatively new business, only 6 months old, but it's hit its ROI, and that's very fast. When I worked in the corporate, an ROI would take 2.5 years to hit, but involve much larger sums of money. And so yeah, it is possible to have a business in rural Thailand because of everything's online these days. And obviously a lot of people work for foreign companies, but online. Insects are quite a big business in Thailand as well, and I order these for my sugar gliders. The sugar gliders like to eat them. I've seen these ones before, I haven't ordered them before. Crickets, but my sugar gliders would absolutely love these. They would love these grubs for sure. Obviously I'm not going to carry some all the way to Chiang Mai and bring them back for them, but I just know that would be a treat for a sugar glider. I think also you can't compare lifestyles, so somebody with a family like me that's getting, just over middle age, it's better for me in that location, but for somebody that's younger and not met anybody yet, maybe, like Bangkok is a bustling, fun, exciting city, and so I make the comparison only for my own opinion, but that applies to me really, and not everybody, of course. It's actually a good job Damo isn't here and I am traveling, because whenever we see plants, as you've seen with our garden, we want to add, and I cannot fit a toothpick in my backpack now, so I can't buy any plants or any gifts, which is a good thing. And I'm just browsing today. And saying about Bangkok being a city as well, I think what we're going to see when we get to Chiang Mai is there's been huge change up there too. It is like a mini Bangkok these days. I think sometimes people that are quite new to Thailand, they have an idea that Chiang Mai is some kind of hippie town, and it's very kind of naturey and peaceful and that kind of thing, but actually it's turned more into a bustling mini Bangkok. It's a city, and it really is quite busy now, which I think we'll see when we get there. I won't be staying there long. I think I'm going to do 2 nights in Chiang Mai, and then I go up to Pai, which is kind of the more peaceful, quaint, hippie town, for lack of a better word. I don't know about you guys, but do you ever people watch? Sometimes I find myself looking at somebody like sat there like one of the cleaners, or just some old dude sat on a step, and you just like staring off into space all day, and you wonder, what homes do they go back to? What is their life like? Is it just a small room? Are they alone? Do they have family? Do they come and sit on the step day in, day out? Is it on their weekend, their time off, and this is what they do? Obviously I didn't want to film the guy that I was watching sat on the step, but it does make you think the lives of people, how complicated it is. Everyone's got their own little story, everyone's got their own little abode, their own little dreams, their own suffering, successes, failures, and there's billions of us, billions of stories all happening at the same time, and what's so important and poignant for them is just insignificant for you. And some of us have followed the dreams and made the dreams come true. Other people are still dreaming. Young life, young people ready to make their dreams come true in sometimes impossible circumstances. It is the beautiful poetry of life, without getting too deep here at Chatuchak Market. I just find it fascinating, the stories of people. And most of us, the good percentage of us, how hard you kind of graft away to make your dreams come true. These lovely mushroom, perfectly timed as well, mushroom sculptures, very beautiful. having a bit of a mushroom thought. But how everybody just like raising children, everyone's kind of shouldering the burden of what it is actually to be alive. Most people anyway. And you get your job done, you make your money, you try and fulfill your dreams, and then you die, and then that's it, and another one comes, right? It is that's just a part of life, and I often, even every face that I see, including this guy here, every face you see, every what possible story it could be. Gopher, little gopher. Behind that face, there's a story, there's a struggle. There's the good things done, the bad things done. Got tarantulas in here, exotic snakes. These are fighting fish in here. And I'm back in the pet zone, so I think this is it, guys. A little bit of food for thought there at the end of this vlog. This is to be continued from the train onwards into Chiang Mai. Going to take you around Chiang Mai, going to take you around Pai, see if we can talk to a few people and get their stories as well, to share their stories. It's not always easy to get people to share their stories on YouTube. That's why you hear my story on here so much. I often focus the camera more on myself and my family than random people. But maybe I'll be able to, but maybe I'll be successful in Pai when I get there, getting some people onto our channel. Getting some people onto this channel. So I'm going to have a noodle now, I think, because this noodle looks really good. Pork and beef. So I'm going to have a noodle, guys. Thanks for following along. I hope you're finding it interesting and give you some ideas for when you come and travel Thailand as well. Hopefully give you some pointers for using the public transport. I'm excited to get on this train now. See you in the next episode.